Polus Lycaeus Alexandros served as a chapter master of the Sons of Dawn during the 34th millennium. The second Astartes to assume command of this imperial fist successor. Such was Polus's deeds that only the title, the Great, would be fitting to emphasize his deeds. Born upon the world of Archaea, descended from its revered nobility, this highborn space marine led two enormous imperial crusades across swathes of two segmentums until invading the Eye of Terror itself. Reconquering untold imperial worlds for 6 centuries of warfare, none could stay the wrath of these sons of the Praetorian, whether held by Xenos, renegades, or the thralls of the ruinous powers themselves. Obsessed with his quest to pry stolen domains from the clutches of the Imperium's greatest foes, never were the Sons of Dawn at full strength due to their relentless campaigning to cleanse the stars of evil, Alexandros returning to his homeworld only 11 times during his command. Liberating several worlds within proximity to the Eye of Terror, such bastions held true for over 6 millennia, until the dark days wrought by Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade. Each domain of the reclaimed Imperium fervently tithing the most promising sons to join the Sons of Dawn as aspirants for the chapter. An honor guard contingent guards the domains of Archaea, drawn from myriad worlds as a pledge of gratitude for their salvation. Grateful to such heroes for their protection, as revered tales spread throughout the culture of Archaea and their legendary lord, Alexandros led his chapter for almost 600 years until his death by the hands of the servants of the Plague Lord. His last battle, made during the castigation of Tarion, the fell warband known as the Apostles of Contagion, led by Chaos Lord Necrosius, the Hand of Nurgle, sought to spread the Grandfather's gifts within the protectorates of the Sons of Dawn. Unleashing the walking death zombie plague upon the populace of Tarion, Alexandros the Great answered their hails for aid, leading his men into gloried battle. The worlds beset on the path of his crusade fleet, proving little challenge until they reached their domains. Slowed by vast wastes, covered with razor wire, gun emplacements, mines and fortifications, the already bulky dregs of the Death Guard Legion proved a tenacious foe, once entrenched so deeply. Necrosius' sorceries, used to reanimate masses of putrescent corpses beneath the soil of the battlefield. The 1st and 4th companies of the Sons of Dawn fought bravely within the swarms of reanimated dead, aided by Astra Militarum and planetary defense forces. 12 hours of bloody combat against the Plague Marines of the Apostles of Contagion were exacerbated by hordes of undead mulch which beset their landing zone. The multiple beachheads of Alexandros' battle lines pushing forward from the coastline to the capital city. Circumventing much of the Chaos Defenders as Imperial Guard garrisoned their hard-fought positions, heavy orbital bombardment veered dangerously close to the Sons of Dawn advance as they breached the city's void shields. Organizing the deployment of 6 companies of his chapter to enact lightning raids upon the capital using Thunderhawk and drop pod assaults, Alexandros and his honor guard breached the enemy command center within the governor's palace. Challenging Necrosius to a duel to spare his own men's lives, wounds aplenty poured fetid innards from the Hand of Nurgle's body until his own demon-possessed force weapon returned such fury in kind. Injured by the foul plague sword before felling Necrosius and his entire entourage, the Imperials drove the subjects of the Plague Father from Tarion as their long-standing crusade of the Segmentum Obscurus drew to a close. The Hand of Nurgle restored years hereafter, Polus meanwhile refused to succumb to the poison inflicted by Necrosius for solar months as it gradually broke down his genetically enhanced constitution during their voyage to his homeworld. Perceiving his failure to defeat his enemy as a weakness of spirit, Alexandros demanded his apothecaries to draw his noxious blood while upon his deathbed, making a final request to use such vitae to judge those who would follow in his footsteps. His body interred within a stasis sarcophagus to be enshrined within the Temple of Resilience of the chapter's fortress monastery, that the hero of yore still lives, awaiting a cure to free him from his ailments. Prophesied to stride forth once more from his sarcophagus once his body is cleansed, all new chapter masters must drink the toxic blood of Alexandros the Great as a test of their constitution. Only 2 descendants of Polus's bloodline proven worthy of assuming the role of chapter master in his wake. The first, Appius Flavius, or Alexandros the Mad, turned to the lore of chaos, possibly as a result of his bloodline mixing with the poisons which felled their paragon. The second such descendant, Quintus Decius, or Alexandros the Blind, the only known space marine pariah, manifested his latent genetic abilities during the invasion of the Great Devourer upon the soil of Archaea. The chapter's librarians were seeing Alexandros the Blind to be the bloodkin who will avenge the honor of Polus the Great, To this day, the chapter fights to redeem themselves of shame. Drawing inspiration from the shrine of their interred champion to this day, only time will tell if he shall indeed return to lead his chapter anew, or if his blind inheritor shall stand in his place.